And welcome everybody to the Fandom Zone. It is I, General Zod. Happy holidays for all of you guys who are having great Christmas plans. Good to see you back here on the channel. I know I haven't streamed in a while, but I've had some family functions going on. How is everybody in the chat doing tonight? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, then, it's great to have you guys all back here. So, tonight I am going to be talking about the Mandalorian, and I'm just going to go over episode 8, my thoughts, theories, things like that. I'm waiting for the rest of the bridge crew to get here, but while we wait for everyone, let me see who's here in the chat. All right, let's see. We got Wicked Friends and Parody. Good to see you back, buddy. We have Bear, welcome. We have Zombies. Good to see you in here. So yeah, tonight's gonna be a great night. I'm looking forward to really breaking this down, breaking the series down, and honestly talking about good Star Wars. Because after talking about Rise of Skywalker for so long, it's good to uh, theorize about a show that I actually like talking about. So oh, can you guys hear me? Hey, can you guys hear me? All right. I guess my mic was having some issues. Okay, good. People can hear me. Hold on a second. Let me just do something. What up, Perp? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got. I can hear you. You hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. I
What up?
I,
What up?
uh, I actually got a new mic that I'm testing. So,
You should change this background.
oh, I'm about to. Oops, that's not what I'm looking for. Hold on a second. Yep, that's my overlay. Damn it. Where did I download it? Oh, here we go. There we go. All right. Uh,
You almost
hello
got it
guys.
there.
How you guys doing tonight? We are going to talk about the Mandalorian. I got my new Turtle Beach headset that I'm broadcasting from. So it was a Christmas gift because they know I stream.
Fancy.
So
What happened now? Oh boy. What the fuck just happened? Hold up.
yeah, I pressed the back button, but there you go. See my new headset, so the
Oh.
world can see.
That's
So
funny.
what up, everyone? Yeah, I got my new headset. And of course, for this, I thought to myself, how am I going to do this review? And there's only one way to do it. I got to hold on a second, guys.
Oh boy. Man. You
Oh,
got
yeah.
the cowboy hat. That's hilarious.
I got the cowboy hat on for this review. So, yeah. That's right. So, what up, everyone? We got 9 people watching. Good to see you. I got my Cowboy Dave hat on, my new headset. I'm ready to talk Mandalorian, man. How you feeling
Cool.
about it tonight?
I'm feeling good. I'm watching it right now as we speak. So
Yeah, so did you get through episode 8?
yeah, I'm just rewatching it now, so it's like
Oh,
fresh
is
again.
it so let's go through first and we'll talk about episode 8 and then I wanted to do a series breakdown and we can kind of rank what the different episodes, go through the series, talk about things that didn't work and then kind of theorize where it's going to go from there because we were left on a pretty uh, big cliffhanger towards the end of the series. So first off, Perp, let me ask you, as a series as a whole, how do you feel about it now that we got to the end of this?
Um, I do have a review coming up on that like Wednesday, but I could talk about it more in depth here. So just off like first watch through. I feel like it could have been better. I don't think it's like the best thing since like sliced bread. There's some really cool moments in here. I think season two has a lot of potential to be a lot better. You know, but we just gotta see.
And I said in my review, I said that this had a simplistic story. And I don't know, you guys may know Gary from Nerdotic, right? And this is where I got the idea from. And this is kind of where I disagree with him. All right. He said it's got a cartoon feel and that the story is a simple plot. And yeah, it is a simple plot. But I feel like Star Wars needed simplicity. I mean, look at where we are at with the main trilogy, right? How disjointed that was. We aren't going to talk Tross here, but we know the problems that it suffered with these people and their complex plots and things like that. I think Star Wars needed to get back to something simpler, a simple story, a simple tale, and then you can kind of expand on it. Right? Look at the best
Right.
shows in the history of TV. They all start with a simple premise: Breaking Bad, The Sopranos, The Leftovers, all that
Yeah.
stuff. They all
That,
start with a little tale.
mhm. And that's why I can
So,
agree with you with making a complex like Star Wars like anything. And I feel like people that are fans of Star Wars like don't really like that. They just like you said they want the more straightforward, not too because they could go like super complex if they ever were to like introduce like time travel or something like shit like that and just fuck everything up. Um but yeah.
so, so yeah, I think that Star Wars has needed for a long time uh, a basic story to get the ball rolling and then to build upon that. So,
Hmm.
to recap this episode, and for anyone who hasn't seen it, spoiler alert, but um, so no, PB, you're not taking your notes for nothing. We're gonna wait for the breakdown. So let's just do a general overview of episode 8. So it starts off with Mando looking pretty bad, right? They're trapped in the bar. Uh, Things are looking bleak. Baby Yoda's been snatched up. And first off, I don't know about you. There are people who have problems with Tiki Watiti's writing. Me personally, I like Thor Ragnarok. I'm one of the few people, I guess. That was one of the Thors I liked. But
Hmm.
I think his sense of humor is actually quite funny. And I love the scene where they're sitting on the speeder bikes and they're playing into that trope because it's a nod to Star Wars fans. And it's just funny. These stormtroopers just sitting around. And was it just me, Perp, or did this episode feel more violent to you? Like there was a lot of pretty
Yeah,
graphic moments.
yeah, definitely. I wish it would like we'd see more of that. Like I'm cool with this type of violence. I just wish we got a little bit more blood, just a little bit. They could throw a little bit, but I understand it's Disney, so it's not gonna happen. You know, you're just gonna see a little
For
flesh wounds.
let me put it this way, for Disney, I gotta say, this is probably the grittiest we're ever gonna get for them besides Rogue One, like that end scene at Rogue One.
I I mean, people said that there was no like dismemberments in like the sequel trilogies, but like, yo, Kylo was chopping people's heads off in Last Jedi. Like when I went back and watched that, I was like, I didn't even really notice like he was chopping people's heads off. It was going in, but you know, yeah, I do agree that this definitely is a little bit more gritty, more raw. I guess because it's the budget
Yeah,
too. So
the thing that got me, okay, so remember they're sitting on the speeder, and then the nurse droid
mm,
comes. Now IG-88, probably the most badass after seeing this episode, right? And did you see how he grabbed that dude's arm, snapped it up, and then shot the dude with the other
yeah,
guy's laser? Like that shit was just like, that's how you like that opening. I was like, oh my god, we're in for a ride. Like that
yeah,
was crazy.
yeah. He definitely deserved that. You know, beating up on baby YOLO like that. You can't do that. Can't, that's a no no. That's karma.
Like,
That's karma.
yo, I was laughing so hard when he hit the top of the bag, and I said, that's gonna come back, but they made that so literal because I think that was the dude's hand that got snapped. Because he remember he bonked him over the top of the head, and he's like, "Shut up."
Yeah.
I'm like,
The one dude just
I'm
like
like,
really like the last hit was pretty brutal. I was like, damn, you know, like, beating up a little 50-year
yeah.
old and stuff like.
Well, I mean, we can't say a little kid because, like, technically he's 50. I mean,
Still, it's still like, would you beat up on a 50-year-old man right now? Like, I feel bad. I'm like, nah, man. But I'm trying to see you live to be 60 at least.
but yeah, like that was pretty awesome. And welcome, PB.
Finally,
Motherfuckers. I could
It's good to
swear to
see you
God it
too.
was Sunday night.
it's Monday now.
Not on the West Coast.
So, we were talking about episode 8 and just getting into it. And PV, would you say this was probably like the most violent the show has gotten? Like I was talking about in the beginning with IG-88 breaking that dude's arm and
It's
then
not
shooting the other guy with his
IG-88,
laser.
it's IG-11.
All right, well, he looks like the 88 model to me. But I
Of
mean,
course, he
yeah.
looks like the 88 model, but you got to get your facts straight, guy, if you're going to talk about a Star Wars television show. Come on now.
See, that's why you're here. That's why you have the notes.
Terrible.
So,
Um,
what did you think?
the most violent? I don't know. It's not like episode 8 had any children trying to choke out adults.
That's true. That's true.
This was like Guardians of the Galaxy type like violence.
and and another one of my favorite parts was when that the mace the mason of the group, I guess, the Mandalorian who does all the armor. Dude, did you? I've watched this scene several
Mason's
times. Did
work
you
with
see
concrete. She's like a blacksmith.
there? Whatever. I'm not in that
That's a
profession, so I can
huge
get that
difference, man. Masons build buildings for blacksmiths to work inside of.
laugh. But
Continue.
the blacksmith, did you that part where she busts that stormtrooper in the face, like that animation for that, I was like, holy shit, like they didn't have to show much for you to get the hint that that dude's face just got all sorts of messed up through his
No,
helmet.
see,
Like,
okay. I like that kind of stuff, but then it kind of pulls me out of it a little bit because if I'm supposed to believe that in this same universe, like it's Disney making all of this stuff, right? And
yep.
in episode 7, whoever the hell the guy was, Finn's friend that gets shot, and then he puts blood on his face. He got shot with the blaster. He didn't like trip and then cut himself on rebar. He got shot with a blaster, and that's why he was bleeding. So why in this show, when we're doing physical stuff, do I not see any kind of blood at all? Like, if you bust somebody's jaw off, I should see something on the end of her hammer. Like, I don't need to see the blood fly across the room, Mortal Kombat style, but I should see some residue on the hammer after the fact, because that wasn't the last person she killed.
And that's the weird thing about it too. Like they do a lot of cutaways, like where they could like have some nice little pieces of just a little bit of gore, not like over, not like Saw gore, but you know what I'm saying, a little bit of blood splatter, something like something. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because what I thought was going to happen in that scene when she started killing them, and she gets, I think, the second guy to fall into the forge, and he essentially melts away into nothing, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
that was awesome.
That was awesome. I thought she was going to do that with all of them. I thought that was the plan, was, oh, well, I can get all these guys to melt away into nothing, and then they're not going to have any idea what the hell's going on. Like their people will have just disappeared.
I do have a theory on where Baby Yoda comes from when we get to that part. Whenever you want to get to that, I have a theory.
I mean,
Yeah,
he came from a sack in this episode.
No, because I was thinking about, I was like, yo, what if Aang, he's probably an airbender, yo, because he's sitting there bending fire. He's like a firebender and shit, like sitting there bending
That was
fire.
just a force field, man.
But no, that's just what just made me think of, like, I was like, yo, he's sitting there bending fire and shit, like.
I mean, it looked cool.
See, connected universes. So, let's sort of break this down. So, we got the beginning. They were trapped. Looked like Yoda was going to get delivered by the two hilarious troopers on speeder bikes. Yes, YOLO. Or I had someone correct me the other day to go, it doesn't have a name, it's the child. And I go, come on, that's YOLO.
Right, come on. Just go along with the joke. People just can't go along with the punches, man. Like, just go along with the joke.
Yep, its name is YOLO. Like, get on board, people.
All right.
So I read my comments for my Mandalorian, and I was like, Baby YOLO was in trouble or whatnot. So someone put in my comments, they were like, it's not YOLO, it's the child. And I go, okay, Mr. Generic. Is it like when you start getting more people, do the weirdos come out or what?
Yes.
like, dude, I'm not like a top critic here. Calm down. But anyway, so yeah. So little YOLO is in the sack, and then IG-11 comes and very hilariously breaks these stormtroopers quite literally, and then he goes into town. Now, this was pointed out to me, and
well, I think one of them stormtroopers, I mean, they're scout troopers, but whatever. One of them, the first one, he's just a big pussy, because I'm pretty sure he just got his either arm or wrist broken, whereas the other guy got lifted up and smashed into the speeder bike repeatedly.
Yeah, he got fucked up.
I was laughing so hard. It was 3 a.m, and I'm watching it with the unicorn, and we're out in the living room and we're watching something else, and I'm on my phone because she wants to watch something. She ain't into Star Wars, and I'm laughing hysterically, and she's like, why are you laughing? I go, just
because everything in that first scene is funny.
Like he became one with the bike. It was amazing.
When they were trying to shoot that thing, whatever that was on the ground, sticking out the ground or whatever, sitting there, and they couldn't hit it. That shit was hilarious. I was dying.
Now, did that make you guys feel better or worse about stormtroopers in general? Because these guys are scout troopers, at least that's what I'm supposed to assume from their getup, which means that they're better marksmen than stormtroopers.
That made me feel better because now when I look at it, I'm like, if your scout troopers who use like sniper rifles typically, because they just took out the little, like, I assume what would be to a sniper a pistol,
Yeah, it's their
and
little
they can't
pistols,
hit nothing.
which was
Well,
hilarious when he takes the shot and then jiggles the pistol like there's something wrong with it.
He's like looking at it. It's just like,
Like, is the sight off on this? Nope, you just suck.
so I mean, so we got that first scene. It's a great opening. Now, I heard Gary from their Jodic comment about this, and at some points I do agree, but this I did not. So he was talking about how IG 11 goes speeding towards where the Mandalorian's trapped with the child. Now, granted, I don't agree with him speeding towards it because I'm like, if he's supposed to keep the child out of harm, why are you going towards the danger? So that was kind of wonky to me. But one thing I did notice was every time they shot at him, he like spun his body around so the child didn't get hit. And I noticed a lot of people not mentioning that. They're like, oh, he's speeding into danger, putting little YOLO in danger. I'm like, no, not really. He was turning himself every time they fired, and he's a robot. So
I,
he's going to get the timing between blasts right.
I
I
do
mean,
want to
it's
see.
not like he's a human.
I do want to see Baby Yoda, Baby Yolo to do like a force field, force thing, whatever. You know, some force unleashed shit. Like he's cornered
Give
by a
him
bunch of
time.
because he's already
I mean,
he's choking bitches. He's fire bending. Like him and Ray are the goat right now. The two goats right.
yeah, because we saw Force Unleashed in Tross, so I mean, Yolo's got to have that kind of power
Well, I would
because
be
it's
the
been
goat too
established
if
he
I
can
had
do
a
that.
thousand generations inside of me.
I don't know why that still comes off dirty to me. Anyways, it's like when I heard that they're like, "You have 1,000 generations in you," and I'm like, "Oh, all right, well then." I'm like, you guys didn't think that line out very well, considering it's a female you're saying has 1,000 generations in her. Anyways, so we get to IG 11 just going through town, blasting people while on a speeder, while protecting the child. And I thought this was a very cool scene. Like those shots, man. All you see is like, did you see that one trooper? He's seen IG 11 speed pass, right? He looks, and then all of a sudden he just drops. And it was like, damn. He sped past him before he could say, hey guys, we gotta right down. So I thought that was cool. What did you guys think of Moff Gideon
It's pretty cool.
Like,
You know,
are we
it's
talking
good.
about at that point or overall?
overall?
You can't go wrong with Gus, man.
He interests me, and I wonder more so what he did in his backstory than what he's going to do going forward. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I feel like he may have some type of connection to the Mandalorians, like he might be blood or not, like in their blood or like or a part of that creed and wanted more power or some shit like some generic villain shit and joined the Empire, did some shady shit or you know I think that could be possible.
Well, I mean, from what I've gathered, and they've said too, he was wanted by the Empire, was he not? They said something to the effect that he was a war criminal.
Who was no, he wasn't wanted by the Empire. Get your facts straight. He was wanted by
That's
the
what.
New Republic.
Okay, and he
Like
was a
they're
war
living in
criminal.
an era of the New Republic. The New Republic like starts up within the year of after the Battle of Endor. Like they kill the
Okay.
Emperor, like it says in the visual dictionary for The Last Jedi. The Emperor was killed in Return of the Jedi. That's what The Last Jedi told us. Get it straight, Disney. What are you trying to say?
Nothing ever
Sorry.
dies.
Unless you
So
cross the streams, then he's dead apparently. Spoiler alert.
How is he hanging on to this TIE fighter? I don't understand that. Like, they don't seem
What do you
like.
mean
grappling hook.
after what you're jumping ahead?
No, I'm just like
So
watching this.
Oh,
he
gotcha.
he's watching it along again. Um so here's the thing. They get into the town. They stop. There a big fight ensues.
What was I going?
IG-11 is
Did
being a
did you
badass.
take notes for this or something?
Actually, yeah.
Hmm.
Star Wars, School of Star Wars.
I I love this episode so much. I wanted to, you know, get the highlights right. So,
So then, when are you gonna get them right?
well, that's why I have you. You're the fact
Son
checker.
of a bitch. Well, you just got to do them in order, for the love of God.
So, he finally gets to the place. There's a big showdown, and then they're all going out. They decide to make a push outside,
Whoa, whoa,
and
whoa, whoa, whoa! Stop! You skipped a very important part. Might be one of the most important parts of the entire episode, and I don't understand why you skipped it. How do you skip the flashback?
oh yeah, I forgot that
Speaking,
came first. So go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Perp.
I was gonna say, speaking of the flashback, I feel like that should have been the first scene we got of the show,
Really
and then,
interesting. Why?
Um,
cause like picture this, right? You see that image, right? And then it cuts to back to the beginning of the Mandalorian, like he's hopping out of the ship, like he's like just arriving at the planet, waking up and some shit. He just like a bad dream type shit, and then gets
okay.
that planet, and then it just plays out like that. He hops on the planet, boo boo boo.
Well, what I got out of the flashback was 100% guaranteed this Mandalorian is not Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that means if they wanted to introduce him, he's still out there.
Yep, he's out there someplace doing
So
something. Could possibly be the legs that we saw in what was that, the fifth episode, sixth episode?
somebody
Yeah, because it
put
was a while.
together that could possibly be Boba Fett because um he has these like not not keys, but it sounds like keys or some shit like he has on him, and you can hear it in this, like when you see the person walk up to the Asian chick's body
Okay,
and
well,
shit like.
you send me that video and I will watch it and I will tear it the fuck apart because it's wrong.
Okay.
I don't see
So
how it's possible considering that we see Boba Fett in episode 2. That's what he looks like. That's his life. He has one parent. That's all we ever see. I mean, it's possible that Django had some freaking chick on the side that we don't know about. It's possible. I'm always leaving possibilities out there. But with how the rest of his life played out and that he talks about, it can't be Boba Fett.
no, because of the rest of the backstory that we got. Um, and we'll get to that part. But yeah. So there was the flashback. We finally got some context. What did you think about how they did the droids? I think they were a lot more menacing this time around.
Compared to what?
I mean, compared to how they've done them in the movies per se. Like I went through and I rewatched episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then watching this, they seem more imposing in this flashback than
Okay,
they did.
well, I will give you one reason as to why they're more imposing. When you're fighting a droid as a human being with a blaster, it's a huge pain in the ass. When you're fighting a droid with the Force and a lightsaber as a trained Jedi, not a problem.
Yeah, that
That
is
is
true.
why they seem more menacing in the show. Because for, I don't know the exact amount of time, every time that you see at least the super battle droids, you're typically seeing them go up against a Jedi with a group of clone troopers behind him. And when you got a Jedi involved, you always have the high ground.
And Grim, I see you there in the chat, buddy. This is my Mandalorian talk, but don't worry, I will
This
talk
is the
about The Witcher
Monday show
because
that we're doing on Sunday because somebody's a fucking putz.
um on Monday I'm definitely going to talk about The Witcher because that's a great show. But
Sorry.
for today, I wanted I wanted to talk about this. I thought The Witcher was a very surprisingly good show, but yeah, the so we got the flashbacks and everything. We find out more about Mando and his situation, where he came from, confirmed that. Now, how do you guys feel about them saying that the Mandalorian was more of a creed rather than a race? That was kind of weird to me, and I'm not a big EU guy.
It's interesting to me because I feel like if I went back and watched some episodes of the Clone Wars, that is not how they make it seem. They make it seem that if you're not from Mandalore, you're not a Mandalorian.
I heard there's like two different types of like, like clans or some shit like that. Like
Whoa, whoa,
something
whoa.
different.
When you say it like that, you make it sound like being Jewish. Like you can be Jewish in the sense of that's your blood, or you can be Jewish in the sense of that's your religion.
Well, that when you put it like that, it kind of makes sense to what they're doing in the show. Because when they say that creed and that mantra, it seems more religious than it does, uh, national pride, let's say. It seems to be more of there's more of these fondlings or foundlings, right? And that they're a different part, but still treated as Mandalorians as long as they're,
Yeah,
I guess,
you
are
can't
rescued by
call them the fondlings. That's in the Catholic Church.
That sounds so weird.
them. Yeah, it's yeah.
Well,
What
you
else can
knew it was going to be something like that when they
I
call all the other kids the younglings.
Yeah, I had a feeling, and I feel like that's another callback to Star Wars itself. There's a lot of callbacks in this, so but yeah, so we got the flashback, and then we got the them deciding to make a push and take that gun, that giant gun, and for a while there, they all come out. They are just wrecking people, and I was conflicted about this scene, but how did the Mandalorian pick up that giant gun by himself? Because they have it on a tripod thing, and he does like
To to quote LB, because
I mean,
like
that's what I would lean towards. I definitely lean towards the because right then. I mean, they lifted it up to put it on the tripod. It's not like they used a hoist to set it onto the tripod.
but there was at least like two or three of them.
You have no, I think they were only using two people to carry it, and it's not like he was lifting it over his head.
I guess I don't know. It's just maybe I just picked up on that little thing because I'm like, is he on steroids or because he just picks that thing up off the stand and just starts shooting it. And then too, does it have a kick? I mean, he was shooting it pretty accurately for it being like a repeater blaster kind of thing.
I mean, it's like a Gatling gun.
Yeah, and we all know Gatling
It
guns aren't
fires as
really that
fast as it can cool down.
So, I mean, there was that, and Moff did something that I thought was hilarious. He shot the little battery pack generator, whatever they had it hooked up
Th-
to, and blew it up, and I thought that
Yeah,
was hilarious.
that was dope. Like the way he just looked at him, he was like, "Y'all serious? I gave y'all
Well,
like I
he
gave
he
y'all till
looked at
midnight."
him twice because he shoots him in the back and it bounces off of his armor, and he's like, "Oh, well, I guess I can't take you out because I assume with whatever type of blaster he has, those are like one-shot kills on every stormtrooper. Like when they're
Hmm.
talking at the beginning, he just killed a trooper for interrupting."
Yeah, so he must not that because we all seen what that armor has ricocheted off. So,
Exactly. So he said, "Fuck it,
so
I'm not going to try shooting him in between the armor. I'll just shoot this thing that's going to explode
And,
in his face."
and the fact that he just walked up to them like casually, like not casually, but like in a way, but like without any like anything protecting his head, like just at any moment he could have got just like you know what I'm saying, hit with some shit, but that shit was crazy. That was
yeah, it gave a very imposing feel because I'm just gonna say I'm a sucker for a cape, right? He's already got that long flowing cape, which I feel like every good villain has a cape. I mean, Darth Vader, right? The Emperor had like the Hugh Hefner thing going, right?
Kylo Ren.
So you
Yeah.
gotta have
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
God.
Hugh Hefner is not a villain.
It depends on who you ask.
The Christians he is.
but but no. So I mean, and the thing I liked is that I hate the villains that spout a bunch of exposition. He's a very like straight to the point, kind of a one word villain. He isn't going to tell you what his plot is or what his plan is. He
I
just
mean, a
like is
little
like,
bit. I
yeah.
was a little disappointed with the amount of time he decided to give them, where he, like, "Oh, I'm going to look up, I'm going to see where the sun is in the sky. You have until it goes beyond the horizon." It looked like it was fucking noon.
Right, he was giving them a lot of time just to like think about it.
Right. I was like, where is the 15-minute timer? Especially coming from a guy who just said, "Well, the only assurances that I give you is that I'm going to do what's best for me."
Which is code for I'm probably gonna kill you anyways. So
Right,
no matter
which is
what
code
choice you
for "come out of the door so that my snipers can shoot all of you except for the little green bastard."
make. So here's the thing that got me, and I don't know if you guys felt this way, but for a second, there were two things I liked at the preceding scenes. Mando is hurt, like really badly hurt.
He just
And
got
I know
blown
it's
the
called
fuck up, dude. Of course he's hurt.
exactly.
He's not
I
indestructible.
and I liked
He's
that
not.
though,
He's not
because
ready.
like
He's no ready. Yeah.
because up to this point, right, we hadn't seen him ever really take much damage. He's been winged here and there, thrown off of stuff, but he pretty much like
he's been
shakes it
getting.
off.
He's been getting fucked up every episode.
Yeah, yeah, but he always like shakes it off. He never goes, oh my knee or something like that. He's like, he bounces back pretty quickly. This
if he
time, I felt like there were stakes. Like he might actually die. Because I mean, he had a pretty bad head wound.
Well, obviously he's not gonna die. They're gonna have to have a season two.
That was a weird thing to say, Zod. This is not Game of Thrones. He's gonna die.
This is exactly what's
For
going to happen by the end of the season. He's going to have that dark saber, and he's not going to wear his helmet. Somebody going to crack that shit.
See, that's the other thing. Like, okay, talking about being Mandalorian and everything, they are always talking about family in Rebels when it comes to Mandalorians. It's always about family, especially talking about. I know now we've jumped to the end because you said the dark saber, but Sabine is fucking dead, man. She's dead. Like, there's no way that he got that fucking saber off of that planet without killing her ass.
and I was
And
just gonna
I
comment that. So I
and,
was saving that to the end.
but wait, I wonder though if this dude is force sensitive in any way.
No.
You don't have to be force sensitive to use that, but I know you don't like
Sabine is not
necessarily.
force sensitive.
Yeah, she
Mm.
was just badass. She was like my favorite character on Rebels.
I mean, unless everybody is force sensitive now, because
So
allegedly
pretty much.
Finn is force sensitive.
So pretty much, you just got to be a good like just swordsman to just be able to
Correct.
wield. Okay,
Because
that makes
that's
sense.
what was the guy's name in Rebels who had the dark saber when he was fighting Maul? He wasn't force
Uh,
sensitive, but he was a good swordsman.
yeah, he was that general who was always trying to screw him over. I know who you're talking about. And
Yeah, I
then
can't remember his
he
name
was
off
no
the top of
good.
my head.
I forgot his name. But yeah, so I mean, do you think they'll make? Do you think Moff's backstory will have that in it? Like that would be cool if they have like a flashback of him killing Sabine and taking the saber. I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying. I'm more
that
interested in his backstory than what he is going to be the overarching villain moving forward.
Yeah, like can we get a Gideon like series before they kill him off? Because you know he's gonna die like eventually. But he's a
that
black
They
might be
got to
character.
kill him
interesting.
somehow.
Hmm.
So we jumped around a bit, but yeah,
Just a
there was
little.
that scene. Let's get back. The Mandalorian is injured. Things look hopeless. Who okay, I know that they've been in Star Wars, but has anyone else seen those flamethrower stormtroopers before? I know they've been somewhere, but I just can't
Well, I
place it.
mean,
But
they
that
use them at the beginning of episode 7.
really,
How do you
I
think they
don't
light
remember.
that freaking, I don't know, that little village on fire that Poe is in?
Oh, that's right. I haven't gone back through and watched it in a while.
I don't know if
Yeah, I
it's the
forgot about that.
exact same trooper or if the one in episode 7 is like the first order version, because everything in this show is like a remnant of the empire, like it hasn't been upgraded or transformed or whatever you want to call it per se into first order stuff.
And Mark F. Buddy, I hear you. You're bringing up some great points in the chat, and we're going to address those too, because we're going to do also a series overview and just get to some things that work and didn't work. But don't worry, I see your guys' questions in the chat, and keep interacting. I'm liking the interaction tonight. We got a lot of people, you know, sh- throwing out some comments and stuff. I love being back on. But anyways, yeah. Um, those guys, I couldn't remember where they were from. I knew that I had seen them before. I just couldn't place where I had seen it. It was Force Awakens, that very first scene. Because I was like, I've seen this, but is it just me, or was that the biggest goddamn stormtrooper I've ever seen in my life? Like that dude looked like he benched 50 other
And
stormtroopers.
then I think
Like, he
there
was
might be
huge.
some of them in Rogue One as well when they're torching the one guy's house, I think.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. See, I gotta go back there and watch some of the like I like Force Awakens and Rogue One, so I might actually rewatch those again now that I've has Tross and just see how it all doesn't make sense. But anyways, so yeah, that guy was big, he was imposing, and it was looking pretty bleak. They were gonna smoke him out. I loved how he said that too. He's like, smoke him out. I was like, wow, that okay. And Stormtrooper Vin Diesel comes out with the fucking flamethrower, and it looks like all hope is lost. And then Baby YOLO steps in and saves the day again. Now, you had brought up something interesting, PB. You said it was like a force field, right? Because there was like a blue hue while he was stopping the flames. So do you think it was a force
It was
field,
the
or was
same.
he
It was
force
the
pushing?
same style of force field like they did in Rebels.
Yeah.
Do you not remember the force field they use in Rebels? In like, I don't know if it's the series finale, but it's close to the series finale
Oh,
when they're getting on the ship
yeah.
when they one of the characters gets killed.
Yep. I remember. Yeah, I gotta go back through and watch Rebels again. I love that show. But yeah, so he uses that kind of thing. And here's the thing: I know that some people, uh, especially Mark, he he's bringing up some good questions. Um, I think a lot of this is throwbacks to stuff that I feel like Dave has worked on before. Because, like you said, we can call a lot of this stuff back from like Rebels or Clone Wars or things like that. So I mean, to me personally, I don't see a problem with seeing this stuff pop up in the show. Now, you could say it's plot convenience, but I mean, every show has plot convenience. I mean, I wouldn't call it like Game of Thrones plot convenience in the last season. You know,
Nothing could be
they're
that convenient.
I mean, yes, you do have your things like the trap for the ATST was kind of ridiculous and stuff like that. But I felt like this kind of played off of the fact that we knew Baby YOLO was powerful. He did in episode 2 stop that big creature thing in
We'll
the
just
same kind
call
of
it
way.
a rhino.
Yeah, the giant rhino. So I
He
mean,
was
I don't.
he was the first one to learn. Well, the first one that we seen that was able to force heal and shit.
Yeah, so I mean, to me, it didn't seem really that far-fetched to use that as a way to stop that fire from happening, and I thought it was a pretty cool effect. So, um, and Mando's doing his whole "everyone go, leave me behind. I'm not gonna make it." So, and IG-11 stays behind, uses the little gizmos you see in the game that automatically heals your character. Like, okay, so that part I did call bullshit on. I don't know about you guys, but when I saw him use that stuff, right, and he did limp for a while or whatever, but then a couple of scenes later, she was fine. I'm like, this does kind of seem video game-ish because I remember using that on the old Republic, like they called them back to also, and like you'd use it and heal your character, and then they regain their health after a while. It was like, okay, that was kind of convenient. But the plot has to move. So what did you guys think about that?
About which part?
The automatic healing.
It's Bacta is not automatic healing, and it's been in Star Wars since the beginning. It's just a matter of how invasive or pervasive you want it to be and how bad your injuries are. Like Luke gets put inside of a Bacta tank because his
Yeah,
injuries were so severe, they had to put him inside of one. Finn gets put inside of a version of a back to tank. I don't know why they had to like change it or whatever, but they did for comedic purposes. Fucking idiots. Anyway, when you have minor injuries, that's when you can get away with doing like, I don't know, a spray or a pill or something smaller along those lines that just has to heal something that's, oh, well, I got a big gash on my freaking leg. Well, we ain't got to put you in an entire back to tank to heal a gash on your leg. We just got to put a little back to spray on it. That makes sense to me.
Yeah,
They have super advanced technology. They can fly from planet to planet.
I don't know. I just kept on thinking about like Dragon Ball Z when they were like, oh, eat a sensu bean. Someone would be down on their power, and then they just pop
Yep.
a bean, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm back to 100%. And I'm like, I don't know. That part for me kind of was like, whatever. I I was just like, yeah, I get it. You got to move the plot along. So they kick that vent open because they were working on the vent to get to the underground tunnels to find the
Yeah,
Mandalorians.
only
And
because IG-11 has a fucking laser cutter built into him, which every nanny droid should have.
I know, right? Those kids get into situations, could get stuck in a pipe or something like that.
Right, you gotta be able to cut them fuckers out.
Which that was hilarious. And I gotta say, I don't know about you guys, but I thought it was a good emotional touch when he went back and he saw all of the armor that was there. Now, here's the thing I was confused about this scene. Were we assuming they were dead, or did they take the armor off to blend in? Because it's not very specific when they're having the dialogue back and forth. Like, did they kill them and she gathered up all the armor, or
Yeah,
did
that
they
should.
take off the armor and just walk through the crowd?
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Because I'm
Like
like,
watching it
she's
again.
like, because like she's like explaining what happened, but and he looks saddened by that event. So I'm gathering they fought and maybe died. I don't
Who looks
know.
saddened?
The Mandalorian,
How
he
the
got
fuck
pissed.
can you tell he looks saddened? You can see through his helmet?
It's inflection, man, and I'm Kryptonian. Yes, to blow out
Jesus.
of X-ray vision, PV God. Anyway,
Through his
you could
TV.
tell. you, but you could tell by his body language that he's visibly pissed, and the fact that he's saying he's not gonna go, he's gonna stay and fight them
Yeah,
off.
we'll talk about a little body language later. Okay. Shit that don't make
so,
sense.
so, so, Phoebe, did you think that they died, or did you think that they just blended in and they, walked amongst the people and got away?
I would bet that probably 50-50. There's definitely some of them. I mean, maybe not exactly 50-50, but there are definitely some of them that got away. Like he's going to come across either a few or a handful or something along those lines at some point in season two, maybe season three. I don't fucking know exactly. And they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, we used to be on Navarro," and he'll be like, "Wait, you were on Navarro? I thought everyone was killed." And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we escaped." Yada yada yada.
Yeah, so I found that kind of a loose thread, and I don't know if it was intentionally kept that way, like you said, to set up for later episodes, or if it was just to invoke some kind of emotion. But I was a little taken back by that. But needless to say, he resupplies up, and my other problem was, okay, he got those cool, like, I think they called them like whistlers, those little bombs that he shot off, and I was like, they're taking up some time here. Couldn't she have just like gave him some more of those? because she had a shitload of armor that she was melting down to make weapons. Why couldn't you get more of those little missile thingies?
Maybe
Because
they
Had a
used
clearer
all of them.
crowd pretty quickly. I, I heard that part like because so they resupply. You know, the blacksmith is like, she's gonna do an epic badass battle scene, so she ain't coming with them. And yeah, so they're getting ready to cross this like lava thing to
Oh my gosh, how many things are you gonna skip in that scene?
I
Like
mean,
you're forgetting the point that the the blacksmith chick tells Mando he has to deliver YOLO to the enemy sorcerers.
so they are people just like sorcerers with magical
No,
powers.
they think that the Jedi are enemy sorcerers because the Jedi fought against the Mandalorians back in the day.
yeah, and they used force powers, which they, I guess, where they
Which
come
is
from, they never
magic
tune up
to
to them.
them.
I
Ooh.
would love to see like their the first Mandalorian's like reaction to that. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, you just moving shit with your
I
hands and
would
shit.
love to see the thumbnail for that video.
Like you're
Mandalorians
cheating.
react. Oh, force powers.
That's
Unbelievable.
that's what I'm saying. People just that have force powers are just big cheaters, yo, because they can't fight like hand to hand. So they gotta use.
What are you talking about? They can't fight hand to hand.
I've never
Every
seen it.
time that there's a fucking duel, someone's getting kicked or punched.
Little sissy kicks, little soccer kicks.
Little sissy kicks. Psh, this guy.
And
Like you
he gets
have you
his
ever been kicked by somebody who has the force in their foot? No.
and yes, he gets the signet. Which what did you guys think about that? I thought it was pretty cool looking.
It's
I
a
mean,
reminder.
I don't understand, I guess, entirely what it's supposed to be. Like, it's supposed to be the signet for his house name now or something?
It's like, okay, so whenever they complete a milestone in their
A
whatever their journey
mild
or whatever.
stone. I
So
always go with the
when,
habanero stone. I like them spicy.
I didn't have another way to put that. You know, the high point,
It's
then they get
milestone, you putz. Not mild.
then milestone, then they get their little thing, right, to symbolize a big achievement. And I guess his achievement is YOLO. That's what I was gathering from that. The thing uh, I was wondering
Wait, so
was
this signet is just his fucking next badge on his sash?
basically just like you seen how they all had stuff in the middle of their armor and things like that. Yeah.
I didn't realize being a Mandalorian is like being an Eagle Scout.
Apparently, we're finding out all sorts of new stuff. But
Fuck.
yeah, so he gets
I
that,
want to
and
know
now
if she weakened his armor by welding some metal to it.
that's an interesting question.
I know how metal works, motherfuckers. I'm not a goddamn genius, but I know when you heat it up, it makes it more brittle. If you're going to weld something onto it, you're definitely making some weak points in some armor that's supposed to be not like indestructible, but tough as fucking nails.
Oh yeah, we've seen him take some quite a few
Like if you
different
can take a shot
various
directly
blaster
to the
hits.
fucking chest from a sniper rifle, that's some quality fucking armor.
Well, yeah, that was some quality steel. He had used those credits. Which, I don't know how I feel about melting down money, but we'll get to
Oh, that's
that.
funny. Mark F wanted to say mild stones, but the autocorrect wouldn't let him do it. That's fucking funny.
Oh, good one, Mark. Good one. You got me. Uh, Maybe I should have put it in the spell correct. Um, so
Yeah, he
we
gets the
had that all
signet,
go.
and what does he get after the signet? He gets one more
Uh,
thing in the tunnel. It's very important to the episode.
oh yeah, the coolest thing ever, the
Exactly.
jetpack.
The fucking
OMG.
jetpack.
Like, I was like, now there's a couple of flaws, and we'll get to that later. But
What?
when I saw the jet, there's a flaw with the way that they presented it because okay, she
Okay.
comes out and says it's basically he's got to train with it, right? Because it's
No,
got
she
to adjust
asks
to his.
him if he has previously trained with it.
Yes, and then he said it's been a while, right, or something to that effect, because
Correct.
she says that he's got to get familiarized with it again so that it'll listen to his movements or some, you
Right. There's a mental
metaphoric
component
monkey
to
does.
it to get your backpack
Ex-
to listen to you properly.
Now, my problem with this was he was pretty much pro with it in that final scene, and I was like, I could have done with a little bit more of him like trying to maneuver and then maybe not going the way he wanted to go or something like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna assume if he had trained with it, he's a bit rusty. But like he gets the hang of it pretty well and does a
What do you
spectacular
mean?
fight
He
scene at
did
the end.
one fucking thing.
It
He
was
did
the
one thing
hardest
and it
thing in the
wasn't even
episode.
he did one thing and it wasn't even a complex move, guy. He went straight up in the air and that was it.
And then
Like
he
the
had to like
second
kind of
thing isn't even a move. Like telling your backpack, "Hey, give me nominal thrust so I don't fall to my death" is not a move.
he still had to maneuver to the side and do his little grappling hook thingy.
That the grappling
Like to
hook
do it.
has nothing to do with the backpack. And no, he did not have to maneuver to the side. He had to spin around to shoot the grappling hook, which also has nothing to do with the backpack. Where do you come up with this shit?
Hey, there's still lots involved there. Lots of
Oh my God.
different
He
things that could go
literally,
wrong.
Perp, you just watched the episode, so I know that it's relatively fresh in your mind. When he says, I have a plan for this backpack, what does he physically do with the backpack?
Doesn't he put it on?
No, like once they're outside, when he's using it, all he does is go straight up in the air with it, right?
Pretty much, he just dips.
Right. He goes straight up in the air and then he shoots his grappling hook out and grabs onto the TIE fighter, and that's it. He doesn't use the jetpack after that until after he lets go of the TIE fighter and says,
Mm.
okay, I need like some thrust so I don't fall to my death.
Mark F put it better into what I was meaning to say. He said the imperfection was that he had to bond with it for it to work. Then he just used it. Thank you, Mark F. I think that was better wording than how I worded it. But yeah, so
The
he's
implication was he won't be able to use it like a pro, like the guy we were talking about earlier that fought Maul, who was going all over the place with his jetpack, like left, right, up, down, forward, backward. Like he can do all of the movements with his backpack. He won't be able to do that with his backpack until after he's trained more. That is what she said. She didn't say you won't be able to hit the on button considering you've done it before. Because he literally says, yes, I have trained with them before. I do know how they work.
yeah, but he didn't bond with it, PB.
It has nothing to do with the bond. That's like going over to your friend's house, right? You've never once bonded with their dog. And you go over and you tell the dog to sit. And then the dog sits because the dog has been trained. The dog still works the same way. All of the backpacks work the same way. Like, he's
I miss
trained
these.
with it already. He's not using it like a pro. All he did is go straight up in the air. You're sitting there thinking, oh well, he can't use it, period, because he hasn't bonded with the backpack at all. That's false. That's not what was said in the episode at all.
Uh,
Like, you
I
gotta pay
love when you go
attention
on a
more.
rant.
Like, I
So,
thought that was one of the best parts of the episode because he was only able to do so much. Because I was thinking, oh, he's going to go up in the air and he's going to try and do like some type of freaking dog fighting or something with this TIE fighter. And it's going to be totally ridiculous because he hasn't bonded with it at all, which is what they just talked about. You can't do all the special moves with it until you've trained with it for hours and hours, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, well, this is going to be dumb because that's what they're going to do. And then they didn't do that. And I was like, oh, well, it makes more sense that he did one move that took, I don't know, 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds. It definitely was less than five, and then doesn't use it other than as a parachute, essentially, to get back to the ground without falling to his death. I didn't realize that those things are complex maneuvers. Oh my God. Thank you, Curtis.
Shout out to the
I just
chat.
read his first comment. It says, agreed, PB. I didn't read the second
did
one
you?
because the first one is more important.
The second one was when he took off with Baby Yoda. That's when I was like, did he learn enough yet? It's okay though. Yes, agreed. That was kind of bewildering to myself as well. But um, so I skipped ahead there. I love to get these angry rants out of PB. Um,
Motherfucker.
so coolest scene, and I'm just gonna say it, coolest scene. I don't know. I love the scene with the blacksmith battling. Like that was so badass. Because I'm like, when
It
when I
was
first seen
pretty
her, I'm like, okay,
badass.
she's a Mandalorian, but like, what does she do besides make armor? Like it. I had a scenario like I'm like, if she's surrounded, could she defend herself? And oh boy, it, and the funniest part is, I feel like the stormtroopers felt like I felt. You know how they like got in that room and they surrounded her? They were just like, oh, a blacksmith. We're not really gonna throw caution to the wind here. And
They
she's
should
got like the things for the
they should just shot
yeah
her
they
on sight.
yeah they didn't shoot because like normally they're looking for what like blasters and things like that. She
I
didn't
don't
have
think
any of
that
that.
they were told to shoot anybody on site.
I'd be
You don't
like,
think
fuck
so?
it.
You got to interrogate people.
That's a pretty good that's a valid point. So like they get in there and she just like, oh god, like that was probably like some of the most well shot scenes. Just the way that they move the camera and especially that shattering the stormtrooper's helmet and possibly his face.
Yes.
Like
Yeah, that was
that was
sweet. And then, I mean, I'm going to harp on this probably until the cows come home, which, in Wisconsin is every day anyway. When she killed the last guy with that, let's say, essentially swing straight down, like she smashes his face in, I'm assuming that's what she does. When she brings the hammer back up, there should have been some blood on the hammer. Like, you just crushed a guy's fucking head. I need to see a little brain material.
A little brain juice.
Right. Just a little bit. Like, it ain't got to be much. Like, I'm not talking graphic or anything, but there needs to be some schmutz on your fucking hammer.
or there's ways that they've done non-violent shows that have implied violence, right? You could do a thing where she wipes the hammer off, right? And there's blood on it and she just like takes a cloth or something and wipes it off. I mean, or even if they don't show it and they just show her wiping the hammer off, you could be like, oh, okay, she's cleaning her tools because she got them messy with Stormtrooper. You know, anything to imply it. And that when we do a series overview in a little bit, that's what I want to get to too, because I do agree. Like, what is the rating for this? TVMA, right? Are they
No,
like when the thing, or is it teen?
bro. If this was TV,
did he really just do
thi-
that, Perp? Did he
bro.
just
If
say
this was
I'm not.
something
wait,
on Disney
wait,
Plus's
wait,
TVMA?
wait, wait. If it was TVMA, this would be the softest TVMA shit I've ever seen in my life. This would get
Holy
the
fuck.
worst like grade. Like I would give this an F. Like you
Yeah,
failed.
this would be a fail of a show for TVMA. Are you fucking kidding me? TVMA?
I don't know I don't know the different ratings. That's all I
Bro,
watch on
there's
Netflix.
like TV Y7, TV
This is
14,
more like TV AMF, all motherfuckers. Yes, I'm pretty
So
sure it's rated PG.
it's probably it's definitely like TV 14 or some shit like that. Somewhere around there.
I don't even
okay,
think that
so
it's 14.
It's probably 7. We got Baby Yoda.
no, I wouldn't. But I mean, you know, I would be interested to see exactly what the rating that they have or what they're trying to go for. I would love to see like what is in the guides. Like, can they only show a certain amount of stuff within
Yes.
that rating? Because most ratings there is like leeway. Like, you know, uh, Walking Dead, for instance. I'm just using this for an example, but they're allowed one curse word per season.
hmm But
So
also that's TVMA though.
yeah, that's true. But I'm saying, like, you know, even within that confines of that rating, there's still rules and restrictions. Just because it's MA doesn't mean you can go nuts. They still have guidelines.
They were going pretty
So it'd be
crazy.
interesting.
No,
Like
if it's
you see,
TVMA, you can totally show the nuts.
if it's TVMA, you can get with like as far as the language, like depending on what like uh station it's on, like you can, like with the whole F word, you can get it passed. But with violence, you can pretty much do whatever if you got a TVMA. Like you just literally saw somebody's head get bashed the fuck in Walking Dead. Like they didn't cut away from
Oh yeah,
it
With a baseball bat.
no, oh yeah,
with
that
some
was
bodies on
quite
it.
possibly. I was like, wow. I couldn't believe that they showed that. Honestly, that was probably one of the most graphic scenes I've seen
Yeah, they
on that
after
network.
ever since then, like ever since then, not to go off topic, but ever since then, like they kind of been kind of iffy with the gore and stuff with certain shit.
But yeah, so I mean, within the confines of the rating, I'm curious because this episode seemed, if there's a limit, it did push a lot of the boundaries. I mean, a lot of people died. Granted, they're stormtroopers, but still, I mean, there was a lot of death in
I
this.
mean, like to PB's point, like it'd been better to see some type of fluids flying. Not let me not say that. Uh, bad wording.
Oh, now we're going into
Rewind. Hit the rewind button. Blood, some type of brain matter, you know, something. Like you could just throw in some Nickelodeon slime in there and shit. Like,
It adds to the realism.
right.
I
Like
mean,
you
that's
just
what they're going for in the show is realism.
like imagine. I know this is probably a bad example, but imagine watching Game of Thrones. You're watching Ned Stark about to get his head cut off, and they cut away.
I mean,
Like you don't even see it at all.
they do cut away. What are you talking
Not
about?
not like you wouldn't see his head roll and nothing like that, and just you wouldn't see nothing. It just cuts away and just.
like they completely cut the scene and go
All
to
right,
the
here's a
next
better
page.
Oh,
example. Right? Where you take the red wedding, right? It's
there
like
you go.
you take the red wedding. They completely the pregnant chick about to go get stabbed, and they just cut away, and you don't see none of that. You don't see none of that shit. Like, and
Like,
they
and then
just tell you later.
Catelyn Stark got her throat slit. But we
Yeah,
ain't
they
show
like
you that.
yeah, somebody come back like we survived. We've seen all this. How lame would that be?
Like it was the goriest and most gruesome death ever on television, and we didn't show it to you. Thanks.
No, you just it cuts to two people in the pub talking. Were you at that Stark wedding? Oh shit, man, that was crazy. Oh, so yeah, so let's get to a touching scene, uh, one that invoked the
There is a
feels.
scene with a Catholic priest.
No, you're thinking of the Borgians. Never mind. I don't know how many people seen that show. Anyways, you want to see some of the Catholic like freaky shit? Watch Showtime's the Borgians. That's ugh, sick
No,
people. But anyways,
Pass.
nah, bro.
there's some things I can't unsee. But anyways, so we get to the
The part
heroic
where
sacrifice.
Kara shoots the boat free.
Well, nah, I was gonna glaze over that. I found that a little ridiculous. Like
What?
that
Why
was
is that
okay.
ridiculous?
That was molten rock. How did she shoot that free?
What do you mean with a gun?
Okay, but if it has been sitting in lava, right, and that has not melted that, but hardened and solidified it,
It's a little
Right?
how
bit
is she
different
able to
than
just shoot
Right. So what do you think
shoot
the
it free?
blaster bolts do when they impact something? You don't
Yes, I
think
know
that
what the
they chip
blaster
away
bolts
at it
do,
at all? You don't think they burn away at it at all?
but we don't even know how long that thing's been sitting in there for.
Okay. So you don't know, but you're going to tell me it's ridiculous? Shenanigans.
villains.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
shenanigans.
It wasn't
It's just like
ridiculous. I thought
deflation.
it was I thought it was good because the boat hadn't moved in a while. There was a bunch of lava that had built up around the boat and around the droid, which that droid freaked me the fuck out because I ain't never seen a R2 droid that has
Yeah,
legs and arms.
that was weird. That was some freak
That was
shit.
That freaked me out. I was like,
That was some
what the
freak
fuck
shit.
is happening?
I know that freaked me out too because I was thinking, when I looked at that, I was thinking, wait a second, how are they going to paddle the boat with this unit? Because you see a normal R2
No,
unit,
I assumed that it had like
buck
a
around.
rudder or something on it that he
That
would
shit.
control with a computer.
That shit reminded me of Pennywise, just the way he like stood up and shit. Like, it's just weird. It was
Uh,
not natural.
so um so
Wait,
we
wait,
get
wait.
to
Speaking of
yeah.
robots, it's going off topic. Like Samsung's actually working on making an artificial human. How do y'all feel about that?
I say that the Japanese have already been doing it for years, DS Machina style.
Yeah, they're supposed to be showing it off soon, but like, it's just weird that you like mentioned like we're talking about like robots and shit, like droids and all this shit, and the end of the
Uh,
world is coming.
well, swinging it back around because Bill Burr is in this series. He said that robots would be the worst thing for women. he,
That's
he goes,
facts.
just imagine if dudes can get a female robot. You could tell it to make a sandwich. It'd never talk back. It'd just go and make the sandwich. Females everywhere in jeopardy.
I don't know, man. That L337 does a lot of talking back from what I hear. I ain't never seen
No,
that
no, no,
movie.
no. That was the SJWs reprogrammed that.
Yeah, I know. There's going to be SJWs that reprogram their robots. Because it'll be the one guy and he'll be like, can you get me a sandwich? And the robot's going to turn and be like, are you sure that you need another sandwich?
Oh, like they start evolving.
Exactly. Like they're going to create fucking Genesis, Skynet, what's the new one fucking called now? Legion.
Uh, yeah, Legion.
I got to remember all these names so that I look like an idiot at some point in the future.
So we get the freaky R2-esque unit rolling the boat, and the powerful and moving scene of the episode. Our boy IG-11 decides he's got to sacrifice himself to save the crew. What did you guys think
Side
about
note,
this?
I swear to God, those rodents have Sith eyes.
Yeah, they're
Oh
weird.
yeah, the rats on the
Those are
side.
like evil
They
He's
squirrels or
got
something.
okay. I mean, you tell me the difference. When they, for whatever reason, because there is no reason whatsoever in that scene, because I assume it's all CGI. They didn't go to an actual lava planet. They're not they're not next to an actual lava flow on Earth when they recorded this. So I assume all of that is CGI. I assume those rodents are CGI. Why did they make the eyes look exactly like Vader's eyes or the Emperor's eyes from the originals or Rebels or the end of
The,
episode
the,
3, whatever? That's what it looked like to me. Like I
the Emperor.
watched it twice, and the first time I looked at it and I was like, didn't think much of it. And then when I seen it the second time, I was like, yeah, those definitely are out of place, and they focus on it for no apparent reason, or
Because
Ooh, so you think
scroll through
Emperor
it for no
created them.
apparent reason. What was that,
That was
Perp?
the Emperor created them. That was his first
Hmm,
experiments with cloning.
interesting. He tried making
oh,
Teenage
Mark.
Mutant Ninja Turtle villains.
Came out with evil squirrels with red eyes.
Damn.
Or mad squirrels.
No,
Yeah.
the evil
Anyway,
squirrels are way different.
Well, Mark F answered first. He says he hated that IG-11 killed himself. He was the best thing in the show.
yes, Mark F. I agree with you. And I don't know why, but and like maybe it's just me, but that seemed like a pretty powerful scene. I liked
You thought
the
IG-11 was the
dialogue.
best thing in the show?
I mean, he
No,
just
I
did a
mean I liked
suicide.
it.
He's a suicide bomber. Like he got a whole
No,
bomb
all
and
of
shit.
this. No, okay. I'm glad that we finally made it to this point because I thought that the plan that they came up with of, oh, well, I'm a fucking computer, so I got to go by the programming, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, you've worked into the programming how to solve the problem that you've come across. What I don't like about this entire fucking scene, why is the Mandalorian have any type of emotional feelings towards a fucking droid?
Why is anybody?
Because that was his that
I've always
that was his
wondered that.
whole
Like,
arc
why do
though.
people care about R2 and 3C?
Whoa,
Like,
whoa, whoa,
these,
no, no, no. What was that, Zod? Why does he care about this fucking droid when he hated him
Because
for 7.5 episodes?
because that was the arc. That was the journey. He finally realized that not all droids are bad. They're just programmed to do what they're programmed to do, like Quill had said a couple of episodes back.
When he just thought earlier in the episode that the droid killed
I,
Quill?
yeah, I don't like how they're trying to market this. Like, cause like when we get real robots, they're gonna market it like, oh, these things won't hurt you. You see what happened with iRobot? So it's just chill. They setting you up. They setting us up for this shit. They setting us up for the Yoki dope.
No, I didn't like how all of the sudden he had some type of connection to this one fucking droid when he hates all the droids, and I don't. And Curtis says, because the droid saved his life and was the only thing that saw his face. It was abrupt, but fine. I don't think that it was fine. I think it was incredibly abrupt and ridiculous and
That
made
shit don't even.
absolutely no sense and was not set up by anything. Like,
That
there
shit. That
was
shit.
no transition point. Like, if you want to say somebody like Anakin Skywalker falling to the dark side was abrupt because it happens in one scene. Well, did you forget about an entire movie before when he killed an entire village when he's allegedly a good guy? Like, that's not abrupt.
Yeah, and then in the Clone Wars, there were a few things he did there too that was
Yeah,
set up.
there's a few things that make it not so abrupt. This was incredibly abrupt. He just thought that he killed one of his friends in real time in the episode 30 minutes ago, an hour ago. I don't know the exact amount of time. It's not very long. It's less than a couple hours for sure.
Yeah, but he protected the child and then used the magical medicine to heal him,
Mhm.
and then was about to like make the ultimate sacrifice. So you're saying
Right, which
that
means that at that point that he protected the child, he healed him, and then, he was willing to make the sacrifice. That should start the Mandalorian's transition into accepting droids. That should start the transition. It shouldn't be the end of the fucking journey. It should be the start of the fucking journey.
but we don't know what other droids he'll meet along the way. This could
Yeah, but
be
he should be able, but he should be fine with all of them now. That's the point. If he was fine with that one, now he should be fine with the rest of them. That's the fucking problem. Is that on a dime you've changed the character for no apparent reason.
okay. Taking his emotional response out of it, what about just the scene in general and the way the other characters interacted?
Dude, I told you that I liked what actually played out in the scene. That's why I said I liked the plan. I liked what actually happened. I didn't like the emotional response from one specific character. Everybody else in the scene seemed like they responded appropriately. Like they didn't care that this droid was going to go fucking kill himself. They were like, good, go fucking kill those people so we survive. Move your fucking ass. Chop, chop, motherfucker.
Should have been like Allah. You know.
Exactly.
I like what Curtis put in the chat. See, he put, but he quickly realized it wasn't the case and rushed to hate the droid and realized, like Zod said, that's how I saw it. So yeah, he had been quick to rush to, assume the worst from the droid, but then realized, that's not how it went down, and that he was a little bit abrupt in his judgment. And if you really think about it, Phoebe, he had been having a whole back and forth with this since episode 7, and he teamed up with the droid in episode 2. Then he took it out. But I mean, so there is kind of a connection
No, he
there. I mean,
teamed
he
up with the
started
droid
this.
in episode 1. Trust me, I know. I made a video on it.
Oh yeah, that was the end. I keep on forgetting the end of episode 1 because the
Oh,
issue
yeah, it
was
was the end of,
everything.
one of the dumbest scenes in all of the series.
Yeah, we'll get back to those ones, but yeah. So I mean, there still was the stuff back and forth in uh 7 as well. I mean, it was like a tug of war, but maybe it was him just realizing that the droid was willing to self-destruct. And I mean, I know it's not a person, but that's still, it's killing itself for everyone else, which is a selfless act. I think that wouldn't
I mean,
evoke emotion in anyone.
cell phones kill themselves all the time. Just happens.
Yes, but you can't get a connection with a cell phone because it doesn't talk to you unless you have Siri or one of those ones. And
Very
they
soon you'll
don't
be able to
say
talk
much
to your
back.
phone like that.
I
Oh,
never
it's coming.
watched that movie with Joaquin Phoenix.
It's coming. The technology's here already. But it's not. It's not gonna be mainstream anytime soon.
But I mean, so all right, we all agree. We like how the scene played out as opposed to the emotions behind the scene. God.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. First, thank you, Mark, for the compliment on the video. And then Curtis said, I was pretty upset when I dropped my phone and it died. That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's why you must always have a case and a screen
But
protector
but
on your phone.
Curtis, you haven't hated your phone since phones existed.
We
That's the
don't know.
difference, Curtis. That's the difference.
Curtis could have hated phones, and then this phone was doing good. He started getting a bond, and then bam, he dropped it and it died, and he wonders
No,
what
it's
could
that
have
he
been.
didn't. No, the point is he didn't start getting a bond. They didn't even have the fucking bond when they were in the fucking room. He's like, I'm gonna blow your fucking head off if you take this off, until he talked with logic to him and was like, well, I'm not actually a living being, so I can see your face. And he's like, you got me there, droid, you son of a bitch.
Okay, but he revealed his face to him though. That's still a pretty big thing. So there was that was that moment right there.
Oh my god.
And maybe the village in episode 4. We don't know who saw him in
Yes,
the
he
window.
revealed his
But
face to his CPU, and they were bonded forever.
okay, all right. We spent way too much time on this. You know what? I choose to see the emotional weight.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Shout out to John. I
Okay,
just had to throw
I'll
that
say
in.
one more. I'll say one more thing about it. Kara wanted him to stop the boat, and then the other droid wouldn't stop the boat, so she ripped its fucking head off. That was pretty funny.
That was, man. That and
Hey, I'm talking to
we'll
you.
get
Boom, boom. And I was like, well, he's really not going to stop the boat now, motherfucker.
so, so he sacrifices cool bomb effect, blew up all those troopers, and then probably the most epic part, I thought that this whole scene was pretty epic. Come on,
No.
facing down a TIE fighter, that was epic.
No,
How
because
was
he's
that not
doing.
epic?
Oh my god, you want to know how it's not epic? Because if I'm in a TIE fighter and I want to kill someone who's on the ground, I'm not going to be a fucking dumbass like Kylo Ren and fly at ground level towards them and take a couple of shots. What I'm going to do is come from above, like, I don't know, a 70 or 80-degree angle from the ground, so that I'm pointed down at the person, so I can get a lot of shots at the area that they're standing on before I have to pull off and do it again.
But one thing I do
What a
notice, which
great
is consistent,
military commander.
but this is what I noticed is consistent though. Those X-wings, TIE fighters, they all do those strafing kind of runs, even when they're going along the side of the ship. By that logic, why do they have to drop down so low when they're doing an attack? You could say that for
What
any
are
of
you
the
talking
film.
about?
All right, so like I'm trying to
Examples,
think of what
please.
we were there. Trying to think of a good one. All right. Revenge of the Sith, right?
Okay.
When they're going along and they have that big space battle.
You
They're
talking at the
shooting this
beginning?
guy. Yeah. The buzz droids got on there or whatever, but before that, they're shooting along the side of the ship and they're pretty close. They don't have to get in that, by what you're saying, they don't have to get that close, but they still get close enough and shoot towards the side of the ship, and then they fly back, and then they prepare for the next run. That's how they've done it. Even when they're bombing people on the ground, they've consistently done that, unless it's a TIE bomber. Those are the only ships that I've seen in Star Wars that actually use more height when they're dropping stuff, and I assume that's because they're just dropping bombs on designated spots. But for like shooting lasers, I've always seen them do strafe runs like that.
Dude, even
I don't.
in even in Star Wars Battlefront, the TIE fighters take a more advantageous angle than fucking Moff Gideon takes. It was sad.
X-wings are
Well,
better
to be
anyway,
fair,
so
I mean,
oh yeah, after
X-Wings
that,
are better. Okay, let me ask you this because I don't remember. I think it happened, it must happen in episode 7. I didn't know that X-Wings wings fold flat like that. Did you guys?
yeah, yeah, I knew that. I've seen it once or twice
When
before in
did you
other
see it?
shows. That I believe there's an episode in Clone Wars. Can't remember which one because I'm going back through and watching it, but their wings do fold up. Certain ones,
Interesting.
the like that pretty much lets you know like the like high up people because remember, even though it's not like say a TIE fighter per se, but the Emperor's ship, his wings flapped out, and then when he came in for the landing, they flapped back in, and it came off of the ramp. So I feel like that's like high ranking officers. That's a way they kind of like let you know that they're different from everyone else. I want to say too, Darth Vader's ship had the same kind of design too. But I'd
Which
have to go
one?
back through and watch the originals again.
No, Darth Vader's did not. You talking about
Or
in
did
the
he just
original
have that
Star Wars?
standard? Yeah, did he, or did he
No, he
just
did
have a
not have
standard
the
TIE fighter?
standard. His was bent in like a TIE bomber, but it was still a TIE fighter. They just wanted his different so that he stood out.
Did the wings fold? Because I don't remember.
No, they were just bent like a TIE
Hmm.
bomber. Do you not know what a TIE bomber looks like?
Oh no, I know what a TIE bomber looks like.
Okay, yeah, it's got the three-sided wings essentially. So he had a TIE fighter that had TIE bomber style wings.
Oh,
That's what
Mark
he
F said
has
Vader
in A
had
New Hope.
an interceptor.
I mean, that's what he's flying in when he approaches Ahsoka in Rebels, and he's standing on top of his TIE fighter.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, apparently Mark F is telling me that he had an interceptor.
Yeah, that's what I read too.
oh, he's a
And
weird.
Curtis said, "Zod, I saw it that way, but I've never seen it. Seen it took it as an official model. So it could be, yeah, it could be a prototype. I don't know. That's interesting. I'd like to like go back through and look at different things and see if I could find something similar to that because I feel like I've seen a model like that or someone have that. I just can't place where in canon I've seen it. It's either Clone Wars or maybe Rebels. It's got to be one of those. But uh, yeah. So uh, it was still. I still think the scene overall was cool though. Like you said, the going straight up in the air
What do you
and
mean? So you
turning.
thought that that part was cool, but then the part with the jetpack is terrible? The part that was actually cool was terrible?
No, I didn't think it was terrible. I was just like trying to figure out when she just said he had to connect with his thing, how he did all that in the course of the scene because the even what's her name, Cara Dune said uh some kind of comment like "Are you sure?" or something like that, and then he did the whole levitate, spin around, grab the side of the thing, and put the bombs on.
Yeah, the grabbing the
But
side of the thing and the putting the bombs on has nothing to do with the jetpack guy. All the jetpack did was get him up in the air so he could shoot the cable. Like sometimes I
I,
wonder if you watch the episode.
so
he
with
peruses it.
You peruse the
no,
episode.
I definitely I watch yeah I've been watching these all the way through. I really love the show, but
Oh, no, you gotta. Oh man. Oh, Mark F. God, I love the fucking autocorrect. He's like, sorry, built-in wingtips tie advanced was pointy. And then it says bone in, damn Android keyboard, bent in. Hilarious. You gotta love
So,
those bone in wings.
oh yeah, yeah. Me personally, I don't like the bone in the wings. I like the uh,
No, I like the
boneless.
boneless
But
wings way better. It seems like you get more chicken out of them.
oh, definitely, definitely, I 100% agree.
Like,
I
I'm
feel
not
like the
paying for
bone.
fucking bones here,
Can't,
motherfuckers.
can't go wrong with more chicken.
That's right.
Okay, so um, you know they blow it up. They win the day. Whatever. He flies off with Yoda or Yolo. All
Well,
is
he
good, and
flies
then
off, but Kara decides to what? Is she joining the guild or is she just becoming the personal enforcer for the black guy?
Right.
I'm gonna say
She
she's
just
being his
she.
personal enforcer because she didn't
I,
seem too keen on being an assassin.
I feel like she came back out of nowhere. Now she's leaving again.
What do you mean?
Well, no. Well, no, she came back in episode 7. It made perfect sense. He wanted someone he could trust to
No, no,
watch
no,
his
no.
back.
Hold on. That's not my question. My question is, what do you mean you think she's leaving again?
Or just like they're separated again. It's just like, all right, y'all just like kind of linked up. Now you just want to go get
Well,
some
I
friends.
think that's the way that this show is going to work. That there's going to be characters like him and her that are going to be recurring, but they're not going to be in every episode.
Like
She
Bill
was
Burr and
she
his crew, the
she
mercenaries,
she
they'll be back.
she was trying to smash though, low key. Even
She
though like
should be in every episode.
she honestly, I didn't like really believe like her emotions towards him.
Hey,
Like
fucking dog, how about you just lay down instead of trying to dig out the fucking blanket, you asshole?
I didn't really believe like the connection between the two. It was kind of like I don't really believe this. I wish we had like a little bit more time with these characters together, a little bit more time to make it seem believable. But it's whatever.
Fair. Only having 8 episodes and not having them together for all of the episodes
Or at
doesn't
least a
seem
couple
like
episodes.
they. Well, yeah, I mean, they didn't even have a season where you can take a mid-season break.
Yeah, because like
I
Like,
think this.
when they met at episode 4, they shouldn't just stuck with each other. I would have believed that like her like worried about him, his well being. Like that was kind of just kind of felt forced to me. But
well,
Yeah,
Mark
that's
F.
a fair point.
Mando doesn't have to do it with his helmet on if he turns the lights off.
And
Those are the
you know,
rules, man. You just can't see him.
so so we get to the final scene, which we talked about a little bit, but let's go into better details of it. We find out that Moth has the elusive and infamous black saber, thus setting up a really impressive shot. I love that shot at the end. Um,
Oh, of him standing on his destroyed fucking TIE fighter.
looking
yeah,
pissed like this
yeah,
motherfucker. I gave him
yep.
like so I gave him till sundown, and this is how he repeat like treats me. It's on. He goes. Yeah, I think what needs to happen, since like just to keep up with tradition, like for Star Wars, he needs to get his like the Mando needs to get his arm chopped off or something, like, just get replaced with a robotic arm or some shit. So that when he goes to
So
Whoa,
get
whoa,
that,
whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean tradition of Star Wars? Who got their limb cut off in the fucking sequel trilogy?
I mean there was people getting their heads cut off in there, so
Shenanigans.
so
shenanigans.
Yeah,
So,
let's talk about the
uh,
dark saber.
let's talk about the dark saber. So we have a couple of theories. We know at the end of Rebels that Sabine had the dark saber, and it signified that whatever Mandalorian had it was the leader of that clan. And now,
No, I thought it
we
was whoever had it was the leader of all of Mandalore.
was it all of Mandalore or just that clan? Because they were in a big civil war during that too, right? There were two sides, but they were both trying to get the black saber. So yeah, I think it was all of Mandalore because they tried to get rid of her when she was going for the saber. That one dude that we can't remember his name was trying to get a hold of that saber. Yeah. So here's an interesting question: if they're still keeping up with that, and he knew Mando's name, he knew his real name. Uh, you know, do you guys think that he has some kind of connection to the Mandalorian? Would you think it would be cool if he was a former Mandalorian?
If the Moth
Maybe
was a
turned on
former
them.
Mandalorian,
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
Like
that
if
killed him.
dude, the
if he, if
Moth is not a former Mandalorian. They explain it in the episode.
I was saying like more on his backstory, like he could have been like a rat or some shit, like and working for the Empire or
No,
some
I
shit.
think they laid that out explicitly so that people aren't going, oh, well, maybe he's from here, maybe he's from there. No, he's just a guy who worked for an empire that, he was the one, in charge of lighting the gas chambers, essentially.
Mm.
Like that
So
was
then
his
the
job.
question
He
is
was one that was committing the war crimes. That's what he was supposed to be doing.
so then the question is, how in the hell did he end up with that sword? I mean, that is
Because
a
that's
huge
where he
symbol
went
for
and
him.
committed the war crimes, and that was the spoils of victory.
I'm just hoping
Interesting.
he doesn't end up being a trash ass villain. That would be disappointing because he's a really good actor. Probably most likely the best actor they have on that show.
Which the black guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, he
he's a
is
really good
most. I
actor.
mean, I can't remember the actor's name off the top of my head, but from everybody that I've seen in the show, I will guarantee you that he is the best actor of everyone who's been on the show so far. Like, there's no question about that. If you think it's somebody else, you probably need to go, send me a link to their filmography so I can be educated, I guess.
Here's a question:
But
who is the worst character you guys think out of this whole first season?
oh,
Who the worst character?
hmm, that's a good one.
I mean, that's got to be some. Now, what qualifies as a character? Like, is that somebody who just appears
Like
in
just
a
like you
episode?
who just like just is completely trash and just shouldn't even been in this show type shit.
Mark F put Baby Yoda.
Oh man, y'all disrespectful. I
That's
don't
hurtful.
understand it. Disrespectful, man.
It's
You
ridiculous.
that's why y'all should people that hate Baby Yoda shouldn't do not deserve kids. Just saying. Terrible, yo. They'd be terrible parents. Probably drop your kid off, drop your baby off at somebody like your neighbor's house and be like, oh, just act like I can see that, yo. Like you just leaving your baby at your neighbor's doorstep or some shit, and they think it's like some random baby that just got left there. That just happens to be your neighbor's.
I mean, I guess technically, sitting here thinking about it for a moment, technically the worst character of the show is the Mandalorian armorer. Like,
Mm,
she's
Really?
pointless. You don't need her there. If he knew the history and lore of Mandalore, because it's a creed, not a race, he would know everything that she tells him already. Correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need the exposition that comes from that character. We don't need to waste the
Yeah.
time that we do in an episode, being that they are as short as they are. You know, he just walks in there, gives her some metal. She puts it in a thing, smashes it together. Here's a
Yep.
shoulder pad for you.
She just makes shit in slow motion. That's all she do. That's all she do. That's all. She don't make no pancakes, no other food. Like all
So yeah,
that's
I
her only
mean,
purpose.
I like the scene of her whooping ass, and you technically could still leave that in there, but she's probably the most pointless character. Like, you don't need that character.
You know what that fight reminded me of? Some Power Ranger shit. Like that. That's some shit that would happen in Power Rangers, like the show.
But I want to go back to what Mark F said. He said, "Did you notice the black saber looked like a katana?" And then I responded back to him in the chat, "It's supposed to, and it's supposed to look like a black katana because if I remember correctly, it was the first lightsaber created by the first Jedi to ever come from Mandalore, and he created it to look like an actual sword instead of
Yep.
like a typical lightsaber, so that it fit in with the design of the swords on Mandalore, so that it went more with their culture instead of with the Jedi culture.
See, motherfuckers don't be fucking with Jedi.
Like, there's a
Curtis
whole.
said,
Oh, go ahead.
because we were going with the worst characters, and I'm agreeing with what he said. The purple tel- Telex are the worst, easily way
Twi'leks.
too over the top. The Twi'leks to
The twats.
over the top villain acting. Uh, yeah, I agree.
Purple
Those
Twi'leks. When were
characters.
the purple Twi'leks? When did that happen?
I believe in that village episode
The village
with the
episode.
Village people.
episode 4 with the ATST. Those were worse.
Oh.
Clearly the most forgettable episode. So yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, for me, I'd have to say, yeah, now that you bring up, like, I like that particular scene with the forger, but yeah, I'd agree with you, PB. If you took her out, really, you wouldn't lose anything, and I think that's the biggest thing is that if you look at characters and you say, okay, if you remove them from a scene, what do they add and what do they subtract? You're right. If you take out all of her scenes throughout this thing and just put something else, then yeah, you don't really gain or
My
take away anything.
my choice might shock y'all, but not really. But
He's gonna say the Mandalorian.
nah, I like Mandalorian. I don't like Cardoon.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
I just, maybe it's just, what's her face? Yeah, what's her name?
Gina Caretta?
Yeah, it's probably her. 'Cause I just, she's too like bro, like, yeah, like I don't know. She just, I don't know. I don't believe her. I don't believe her. Maybe in season
She's
two.
too much like the chick that'll punch you in your steel nuts. That's
Yeah,
an
she's.
X-Men joke, people, or a Deadpool joke, whatever.
But
Deadpool.
just yeah, I just like maybe season two she'll probably improve, but just based off what I've seen of her, like yeah, it's cool. She does cool shit, but she shouldn't say anything like when she opens her mouth. It's just I don't know. And I see,
Oh,
I see why
that,
I see
oh,
what
that was
Baby
great,
Yoda
Perp.
I see what Baby Yoda was going for. She's like he was just trying to shut the bitch up. Like
That was perfect. She shouldn't say anything when she opens her mouth. Perfect.
I'm not trying to be sexist because that's what people are gonna say. Oh, purpose.
No,
No.
you're just trying to be an opportunist. I get it.
But nah, it's just I don't know. Maybe if they would have picked somebody that could actually act, maybe it would just I don't know.
I
She's
didn't
just
think
too.
I don't know.
Jessica was that bad
Maybe she's not
for what she
supposed to
was
be able
delivered.
to act.
It's just like I'm getting like a Terry Crews vibe from her. It's just I don't know. It's weird.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You have something against Terry Crews?
No, it's just like how he's always like he's just like yeah, yeah. I'm big. Like it's just like calm down. Like
He's
you're
the
still.
best character in White Chicks.
I don't know. Maybe it'll come to me next year when season 2 starts. Like, oh, okay, this is you know, but whatever. She just doesn't need more lines.
Yeah,
Don't
we
give
need
her
more
more lines.
episodes in season 2.
Give us 10 episodes. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, give it 10 episodes.
I mean,
I'll be
10
cool.
would be good. I could also go for a
12.
more strict number of minutes per episode. Like, I'm not a big fan of this. We're going to jump around and do a random number of minutes for every episode.
Yeah, it should be 45 to 50. I would say 45 at least.
No.
Like, it don't have to be exact, but they should all be relatively similar. Like, Cobra Kai does the same thing. In season 2, there's one episode that's 23 minutes. There's another episode that's 37. That's vastly different.
Yes, one is a married woman.
What was that, General?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just telling my woman I will take as long as it needed to do this
Oh,
trick.
ho, ho!
Woman.
And then
Oh,
she was
really?
saying that she will beat me.
She was saying, not if you want some of this pie.
No, no. Yeah, I have. I'm surrounded by ladies. I have my daughter, and yeah, my daughter should hopefully be sleeping, which I hear she's not. So I'm probably gonna have to yell at her in a bit. And then I have my lady came down. She's like, "Don't be too much longer." And I'm like, "Woman, the talk goes as long as it does. If it's
Make me a
two
grilled
hours, it's
cheese.
2 hours.
Right?
You
Did
know?"
you order a sandwich?
I did. She gave me the finger.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
understand why.
I will
If
wait
you
for the smacking noise.
A lot of females just take that as an insult. I'm like, I'm just trying to like make you productive, I guess, or just do something productive. uh,
Like, it's not
plus,
my fault that women are better at making sandwiches. That's not my fault.
right, right.
That's a
Like, does she need her
biological
oil
imperative.
changed? Because I'll do that for her. That way her hands don't get dirty making my sandwich.
I like what Mark F said though. Expect her to roll up in a monster truck, shooting flames, playing
Shooting
metal.
flames and playing a metal theme.
Like, bro, like she's gonna chest bump you and shit. Like, no, like
I
calm
would bump
down.
chests with her.
I don't know. She just
I
too,
don't
too.
care if she can beat me arm wrestling. I would still bump chests with her.
I
Although if
just
I
feel
got some YOLO helping me, like she'll never beat me arm wrestling.
right. Be like, yo,
Nope.
choke this bitch out real quick. Like, just make her pass out real quick. Don't
Just real
kill her.
quick. Just real quick.
That would be crazy if she passed out though. Like, if she just like he was just holding, and she just passed out. Like, yeah, you
You're
ain't
like,
talking some
no,
short
man,
neck.
she was hurting you, Mando. I am going to choke her to death.
That shit must have hurt like a bitch. That must hurt like to get force choke. Like, I don't know how that really would feel though. Like just your esophagus just closing or some shit like that, or just, I don't know. Like somebody's
Ooh.
holding like a metal pole to your fucking throat and shit.
Mark F had a pretty interesting question. He said,
Good.
"Do you guys seem like 1, 4, 7, and 8 were filmed at the same time, and 5 and 6 were added on later?" Ye- That that's a really good question because the story flow, right? So, Mark, this is great because we can segue into our overall series breakdown. So, yes, I do notice that 1 through 4 and then 7 and 8 do have a good connectivity when you watch them all now and put them all together. And then uh, 5 and 6 just are completely sidetracked episodes,
Wait,
like have
what is
nothing to do with
episode
any
4?
That's where you
episode.
meet car
Card,
the female.
Yeah, but
Cara
what
Dune,
else
yeah. So
happens in episode 4 is the one with the ATST, right?
yeah,
You're
Okay.
but we know that that connects later because she reappears in 7 and 8. So yeah, that's true. You can connect 1 through 4,
you,
7 and 8 as one storyline, and then 5 and 6 are out of place because they're just complete side quests almost.
does
Like
anybody
they add
else
nothing.
does anybody else want to see Mando fight another Mandalorian, like somebody that's kind of like his equal
Boba
eventually?
Fett. I'm just
I
saying,
mean,
Boba Fett.
he did that. He fought Cara Dune, and then YOLO drank some tea, and they stopped.
No, I'm saying that's like a villain because I feel like what's going to end up happening is that dark saber is going to be a big big part of
Plot point.
him, like a plot point. Yeah, like he's going to end up having that sword, but like he might have it for a period of time and lose it or some shit like that, or somebody try to beat him to death or some shit like that, and he has to come back and get it or something like that. But I feel like that's how the series is going to end. Either Baby Yoda is going to have it. He's going to probably go through a growth spurt, a little tiny growth spurt, and he's probably going to end up he's going to end up probably something's going Mando's going to die, and he's going to have that and like you're going to see Baby Yoda grown up a little bit with the dark saber and shit, and that's how the series is going to end. I predicted it.
So, if these 2 episodes were added after the fact, is that one of those things where, let's say, they recorded 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, and then they're sitting there and they're like, we still got, 10, $12 million, guys. We can, make a couple more episodes here. We can squeeze some more in, and we'll just, we'll tuck them in the middle of the season, and that way it won't be too confusing to people. Is that what we're
That's
thinking?
what it. Yeah, because it feels like you can see a connective story if you completely take 5 and 6 out. I feel like it flows better because then you jump from 4, right, to 7, which continues the story because then you can just have him going back or whatever to get to the planet, right? He leaves the planet at the end of 4. He goes in on 7 and then realizes, oh, this guy's gonna, shice me. So he goes back to the village that was established in episode 4 and gets Cara Dune. It's still the same story if you take those out. So yeah, it kind of feels like maybe they were like 6 episodes and then they were like, oh, we can add like 2 more in here to
I
pad
mean,
out the
I
length.
don't. Okay,
That makes sense because if you look at the MCU shows, I think those are all going to start off with 6 and then probably
right.
get 8 or something like that.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. Perp was all of
Because I was
them
like,
MCU shows are 6 episodes.
because you can't make every season with 6 episodes. That's bullshit.
Fuck
No,
no.
fuck that. No, it was cool for The
Like
Walking
So
Dead for the first time, but
no, like you can
I
get
mean,
away with just about any show out there with the first season being pretty much any length. Like it could be super fucking long and you could get away with it. It could be super short outside of being like, oh yeah, we gave you 2 episodes and that's season 1. I'd be like, no,
like,
that's just a sneak peek, you fucking liars. But you could do
like
that just about anywhere. But after that, I need to be getting like a full season here where I can see an arc and some character change and some progression and things are actually happening. And how the fuck are you going to do that in 6 episodes?
Right. This ain't fucking the what is it what's that British
Oh
what's
yeah.
that
The
shit name?
Downton Abbey?
No, that channel
No,
that
you mean
Oh, the BBC?
yeah,
yeah, but you got to remember too. I watch a lot of their shows because I like Sherlock, which my
they did
favorite
that.
actor Cumberbatch came from. Yeah, they
They did
do
that.
that. They have every season is like 8 episodes, but
Not even
their shows are
sometimes.
like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's like with Top Boy when that first came out over there. Was Channel 4 or some shit like that. They fucking had like 4 episodes like for the first 2 seasons. So what the fuck is that? But now with it being on Netflix, they got like a full 10 episodes.
Yeah, but here's the thing with those short episode formats, and I agree with PB, and this is what threw me off about this show. Normally, when you have a short formatted season, I'm gonna say as like a tester, just to see how it demos with people, they make longer episodes because they know they have a short episode run. So they're going to try to get as much time so that they can fill the time in with like character development and stuff like that. And then by the time you get to the fourth episode, you would have been like, okay, it's been an hour or an hour and a half of a show. So you've had enough time to build it upon. This is 20 minutes to 30 minutes, give or take. And it's 8 episodes. So this felt like a really, like they were really testing to see how well this was going to do, or that's what I felt like they wanted to see what the hit was going to be on this. Because remember, when this came out, the people were still rather salty. I felt like this show was to see if fans were even going to like it.
It's a nice
That's what it
experiment,
felt like to me. Yeah,
testing the
like
waters.
an experiment.
And
And
Well, I
I'm
mean,
willing to bet.
the
people were gonna
experiment
watch.
worked. It worked all over the place. There's people all over the place on the internet in real life. Like I have a friend not doesn't care about Star Wars at all, not one bit. Couldn't like name 5 characters if you asked her. She'll probably be able to name two. And she made Christmas cookies, and some of them were Baby Yoda. And I was like, "How the fuck do you know Baby Yoda?" And she goes, "I've been on Facebook." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I asked my wife, I was like, "So people just will share memes of things that they have absolutely no idea what they
Yep,
have to do with just
yep.
because they're cute?"
They want to be in the know.
Except they don't know. They don't know anything about Baby Yoda.
But see, I feel like
It's just pop
with
culture
that,
now.
I guess.
yeah,
Mhm.
I feel like though, okay, with it spreading and with it blowing up the way it has, I'm willing to bet because they already confirmed a second season. Like they had that before this one drops. So with them having a second season, I feel like now that they know, okay, people are liking this, they like certain things, I think they will extend the episode length and the runtime.
I think with and also with there still being time, they should add some more episodes on that Obi-Wan Kenobi shit. Hopefully that comes out. It's like 10 episodes. I feel like 8 episodes. That shit just goes by a little bit too quick for like certain shit that don't happen in it. But
Here's the thing that I don't like. I don't like the weekly wait. I really
I
don't
don't.
like that. Like I understand what they're trying to do, and I think that works if you're going to make a show like an hour long. But if you're going to have these short episodes, then you're not given much for people to talk about. Like if you drop all of them at once, I think it would help the show a lot more than just making it weekly. Like I get, we could talk
Yeah,
about a different episode every week, but they're too short to really dissect.
And people have still been talking about it regardless. If you know what I'm saying, like if they put it out weekly or binged it, you know what I'm saying, people would still be talking about because that's the only like Star Wars shit we got right now and whatnot. That's fresh like that, or you can either talk about that or Rise of Skywalker. Pick your poison.
And me personally, I'd rather talk about this show because
because
I'm
it's
so sick of.
better.
Oh, and yeah, don't worry, folks. I plan on doing something for Rise of Skywalker. I find it very interesting because I want to talk about how the normal moviegoers seem to be loving the movie.
it's getting its
Confirmed.
Well,
bread.
yeah, that's
Several
because
people.
you can literally watch all of the sequel trilogy by themselves, and they almost make sense. But as soon as you try and watch them together, you go, wait a second, what does this have to do with the previous movie? And then you just turn to your left and you go, oh, nothing. Don't worry about it.
Because
Just enjoy the ride.
But you see those
Buckle your
shiny
seatbelt.
objects? Just like the shiny objects.
I like shiny keys.
Jingle,
I don't
jingle.
doubt that. Okay, so um, now that we have the full season, guys, how do we rate this as a whole? And I'll go right down the line before I give my rating, but we'll start with PB. How would you rate the series overall now that we've been able to do our individual ratings for these episodes?
Overall, let's see. It was a bit short. A couple things were confusing. Overall, I guess I probably give it a 7.5.
It's pretty solid. Okay.
I could probably be persuaded up to an 8, but not by villains.
I'll destroy your plant.
Good
It's the
luck. The
one.
animals already did.
I will
Ah,
find
those
you.
bastards. Perp, where do you have this scored?
Man, I've been sitting with this grade for a while. It's been pretty consistent. I think I mentioned it in my review, which will be coming out Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Definitely go tune in for that. But C plus. Nothing higher, nothing lower. C plus.
Okay, you're
So
the
is that
only one
like a
who gave an
7.5?
No. If I had to go out of 10, probably be like a 6.9. That's fair. 6.9.
Okay.
So you could almost be tipped to a 7, or you're just a hard 6.9.
6.9. 6.9.
You can't
9.95.
say a hard 6.9.
I'd be sitting where PB is. Nah, I'd probably go an 8 just because I had two
I
episodes one
I
I
will
had at a
definitely.
9 and one I had at a 10. So
This is something I kind of touch on in my review, but like, 'cause in my thumbnail it says overrated or overhyped or however it goes, I forget. But you
Okay.
know, um, I don't think it's overrated because it just came out, so it's just like but I definitely think it's super overhyped. Definitely.
I think the hype comes from having a good story that actually made sense at the end of it.
I mean,
I mean,
it was okay, but like for me, I still felt kind of hollow. Like didn't it it didn't leave me craving more. Like I'm interested in more, but it's just like I'm not like, oh man, I need this season 2 right now. Like with Vinland Saga, how that shit ended today, I'm still thinking about it and
Well, The
traumatized. So
Mandalorian isn't an anime. If it
I know
was, I'm
it,
sure you'd be fiending for season 3.
but it doesn't even have to be like I could do a non-anime like Reprisal. That shit is fucking fire, and it's only
I
like
have no idea what that is.
it's a show I've been talking about that's on Hulu. It just came out. Was it like on the 6th or some shit? Like earlier this month and whatnot. And that's probably like Hulu's best show. But it's definitely gonna be one of those shows that people probably won't get hip to till like season 3,
Hulu, isn't that just Disney adult?
pretty much. But that's their best show on there,
Well,
easily.
we're getting grades in the chat for the show. Curtis gives it an 8.5.
That's way
Mark
too high.
F gives it a 6 on the Markometer. Good
That's
effects, decent acting, but the story being all over the place detracts, and some of the writing is awful. That's fair. I
That
mean,
is,
it
and
does totally get erratic from time to time, especially with what we talked about a couple minutes ago, with how they are sticking episode 5 and 6 in there, and they don't appear to connect to the rest of the story other than at, I believe, the very beginning and very end. They're like, oh, well, I guess I have to go back and reconnect with these characters so that I don't continue to be hunted.
so here's the thing. Do you think that because this felt experimental and there were several different directors for the episodes and a couple of different writers to write the episodes, do you think this show serves better with having one writer and director and not spread it out like they did? And do you
Haven't
think that maybe the next season they'll stick with
I would
one of the most effective writers?
I would just stick with like 3, like Deborah Chow, whatever the fuck her name is,
Yep, Deborah
uh,
Chow.
Dave Filoni. Just keep him. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it like as condensed as possible. Just keep it just in house and don't go all over the place
And
because
then
you
have
get. You know what I'm saying? I heard Ryan Johnson.
John
Uh,
oversee him.
is that a rumor? Or is that confirmed that Ryan Johnson was thinking about
It
doing?
sounds like a nasty fucking rumor, you son of a bitch.
It'd be interesting. He'd be
I
like,
think
"All right,
You
we're just
trying
gonna
to
kill."
spoil my Sunday night?
Because what would happen is, right? I can see it now. He's gonna kill off Moff Gideon in like the first episode, and just be like, "Yeah,
It'd be like, yeah, he
fuck that
wasn't
guy,
important.
fuck that
He
guy."
wasn't an actual villain.
Trust me, if
The
I
actual villain was
you get
his emo child.
you give me like some Star Wars property, like or in charge of some shit in complete creative control. Shit, you think they hate Brian Johnson? Shit, they gonna kill me. I'm gonna reboot the whole shit. Yeah, I'm gonna get Leonardo DiCaprio and get way better actors than all these motherfuckers. It's like to play new Han Solo and all that shit. Tom Hardy to play Han Solo.
Tom Hardy to play Han Solo. This
You gonna get
fucking guy.
Vin Rames. It's gonna be Darth Vader.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Vin Rames for Luke.
Or nah, I would get Morgan Freeman to play Darth Vader. That'd be hilarious.
He's got to be able to move, man. Or are you doing the whole? Or is he just doing the voice?
Yeah, he's doing the voice.
Okay, so you're
And he's
just gonna
But
get.
what white guy are you gonna get to
No,
play Vader?
you just got to get some professional wrestler to be the body. That way he
no,
can
no,
move around.
nah. Andy Serkis is gonna be the motion capture.
No, you don't need Andy Serkis for
Yes,
Vader.
because
Oh
like
my
fuck all
God,
that.
he's not big enough.
No, because like this what I would do. Because like how Vader fights in the clone. Like what is it? Not the Clone Wars, but is it Rebels?
Okay,
Yeah.
Like have him like not that stiff shit. Like nah, we're gonna have you actually moving your legs. Motherfucker.
that's why I said you get a professional wrestler that can actually move, that has some size to him.
Get the
Like
Undertaker.
Andy Serkis is not a big guy; he's very small.
Puny human.
Well,
You know,
right.
honestly, Perp, no changes you can do would be worse than the shit we've gotten.
Bro, like that's the best bet y'all got if y'all want
Right,
shit to be
Perp's like,
fixed.
I'm gonna ruin it worse than Luke tossing his lightsaber over his shoulder, saying, I don't need this fucking thing anymore. Good
Bro,
luck with that, Perp.
I would take the whole like I would literally take Game of Thrones idea and just start killing off like main characters like left and right. Like Luke would get his
Like, killing them
fucking
off isn't making them worse. Like, that's probably a good thing.
no,
Like,
but
if
like
Luke would have been dead at the end of episode 7, we wouldn't have had a shitty episode 8.
I would make Luke a beta male. And he's just like he's a pacifist. He doesn't like to fight. You know, really piss him off.
Right. He don't like to fight. He just likes killing millions of people at once. Well, maybe not millions. Definitely tens of thousands.
I would make the Emperor a woman. Oh wait, too late.
Guys, did you notice who just showed up in the chat
Mega Jetty 1.
with a
Who?
super chat? It says,
Oh,
Oh, Megan
hey
Zeddy.
guys, how's it going?
It's going terribly.
What?
I was being sarcastic.
Fair enough.
so Jesus.
It's going pretty good, Jeffrey.
I don't like that
I
name.
gotta say, it's been great actually being on air again. I've got ladies everywhere today, so I'm gonna be wrapping things up here before I have a
Wow,
full
that
skeleton
sounds
full.
like a completely different thing than what's actually happening.
I got ladies everywhere, so I got to wrap it up. Got to wrap it up before I do some serious penetrating.
Terrible wording.
Fucking A, man.
So before I wrap it up,
See you later, Mark. Mark's hitting the sack before Zod can.
oh Jesus, this is why everyone loves this late night. So let's just end this by getting
Don't forget to
everyone's hopes
sack the
per
like button.
yes, definitely. And let's just get everybody's hopes and dreams for season 2 and a promo of your channel. Let's start with you, Perp. What are you hoping to see in season 2, and then tell us about new content you got coming out.
I hope everybody die. But content I got coming, I got kind of a surprise. I think my first video that I'm gonna upload is the Mandalorian season 1, then Uncut Gems. Watched that already like twice for free,
Oh, I beat you to that review.
but for free.
Finally.
I could have been watched that actually. Like I didn't really realize like I had to clear a copy on this shit, but um yeah. Then we got Power coming back
Oh
this weekend.
yeah.
Yes, this Sunday. So expect that. And some other shit.
Speaking of which,
No.
we got to do a roundtable on that before it comes out.
You need to watch Vinland Saga, yo. That shit is incredible. I got a Vinland
Yeah,
Saga episode review. Like the last episode, I think it was like what episode was it? Like 24? Yeah. Got a review for that coming also on Wednesday. I'm gonna drop like 5 videos on Wednesday. So don't even sweat it.
nice.
But
5
yeah.
videos.
Yeah, I've been having kind of like a withdrawal. You know, I haven't like uploaded nothing, streamed nothing in like a week. Feel like a crack addict,
I know.
you know.
That sounds terrible.
Holiday season, man, I was off the air, but I was doing videos constantly, so at least I had something coming out. Still, YouTube's Christmas present. I lost subs, so if you're new, make sure you're subscribed to me. I lost like 3.
Really?
No, I really did lose like a couple. I lost like, I don't know, like 5 or 6, and then I got back up to 362 again. So
It says 363 right now.
oh, Oh, I went up one. All right. Last time I checked, I was 362. See, the algorithm is being good to me.
I'm at
So PB,
378. When are you going to catch me?
I'm working on it.
Catch me
Anyways,
if you
the
can.
the commander, the co-host, and the person who rants when I say something stupid.
Hold,
Go
hold on,
ahead.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I gotta say something. Why the fuck do you still have a Santa hat on? Christmas
Because
is
I have
imminent.
until the first of the year.
Oh my god, ridiculous, ridiculous.
Like, the other guy's wearing a Santa hat too.
You gotta get a Gucci hat or something,
I'm not
or
putting
a
on a
Supreme,
Gucci
or
fucking hat.
nah,
I'm in northern
get
Wisconsin. I'm not wearing a fucking Gucci hat
get like a Supreme, something with Supreme on it. Get like a Supreme hat.
with a Supreme taco.
Oh God,
Need to get a
what do you
Kylo
hope
Ren
for?
mask.
Yes,
Oh jeez.
the best mask.
Hey, I will give him this. It does look cool with the red cracks in it. I just
That
don't
shit
know
cool
why you wouldn't repair it immediately after you kill Snoke, after he was
because
talking smack. And then you just wait a year, and then you're like, wait a second. All
he
of those
needed
people that were in my head were
he
this one guy that I'm going to kill anyways? Definitely need to fix my mask now.
So,
hey, at least
Ridiculous.
at least he was on top for a year. You know, more than Vader could have done. Just saying.
Oh, man, that's funny. He was on top. He was never on top. What are you talking about? The Emperor was
he,
on top the whole time.
he was never supreme
Kylo
leader.
was never on top.
He
He
was
was on
the,
top less than what fucking Vader was. Vader was at the same level that Kylo was for 20 years.
he ain't no supreme leader.
In reality, supreme
He
leader of what? The First Order? What's the First Order compared to the Final Order? Nothing.
the
Like General
hey
Pride
man,
goes over there. He's
hey
like, oh,
hey.
well, I was part of the First Order, but that only has Kylo Ren. So now I'm going to be part of the Final Order
Hey,
because that has the
Vader
Empire. So fuck them
Vader
guys.
had to Vader had to answer to two people. That's why I'm gonna leave it at that.
To
Call
two
Vader Smith.
people?
Yes.
Who's
He had
the
to
other
take
person?
Tarkin.
He did not answer to Tarkin. And
He
when
had to
did
take
he answer? Whoa, 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 hold on, hold on. Follow up question. When did he answer to Tarkin in Empire or Return of the Jedi?
I don't know where that happened. Then he died. When did he die?
Tarkin dies when the Death Star blows up at the end of the first Star Wars.
Right. But he still had to take somewhat orders for him. I'm like, what? You ain't nobody.
No,
I'll
he
force
just
choke you.
he has respect for him. That's it.
Fuck that.
You don't take orders from him the
If
same way
I'm
that Kylo's taken orders from General Hux.
nah,
Exactly the same guy.
he treated him like a bitch boy at the end of you know what I'm saying Last Jedi. 'Cause
Really, Kylo has to stand behind General Hux in Episode 7. Like, no, no, boy, you don't stand in front.
it's all part of the
Hilarious.
game. It's all part of the game.
So I
Anyway,
sidetracked a little bit from what we were supposed to be doing. Aren't we supposed to be wrapping up?
yep.
Oh, so you want me to like plug my channel and say stuff, yada yada yada. Well, the
Exactly.
you can find me at Pop Culture PB on YouTube and on Twitter. And the last video I put out was a new spin on a Christmas jingle. It's a short one. So if you'd like to have a little chuckle, pop over to my channel and check it out. And the next video that I'm coming out with, I'm pretty sure is going to be my first ever scripted video for my review of the atrocity that is The Rise of Skywalker.
Nice, nice.
lies,
And
I tell you.
and of course, you have been here in the fandom zone. Thank you very much for my first live stream back from the holidays. I will be back here tomorrow night and doing
For Monday Mando. Oh wait,
for
You could,
Monday. I'll figure it out.
or just have it be a New Year's stream, since you know New Year's is right there.
Oh yeah, New Year's stream. All right, yeah. Plans come together. So
Get
yeah, we
drunk.
probably do
Everybody gets
that.
drunk.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna be 3 sheets or four to the wind. We'll see, but we'll call it the drunk stream. Um, wait a second. Someone has that. Never mind. I'm just gonna hijack streams. Oh, someone has that too. Damn it.
fuck 'em.
Anyways, I got some reviews out. I did a review on Cat's Uncut Gems
Nope.
Bombshell. I'm also going to be doing a review on The Witcher and my series review of The Mandalorian. Um, just my own thoughts and opinions and some hypothesis that I have. Also, I am going to have a fandom talks with someone who played a stormtrooper in one of the original Star Wars. So
You
we'll be
got an
talking
extra?
back and forth. Yeah, stormtrooper number 3. I don't know, but we're in the movie,
That's
so
what's up.
you know,
That was the movie.
yeah, yeah. They got photos with the cast and everything. So pretty interesting stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And if you guys haven't seen my other fandom talks, go check out the playlist. I had Josiah Rises on, and I had Odin. So I'm also talking to a couple of other Phantom Menace people to see if I can get them on as well. So it's going to be an interesting new year. And yeah, thank you everybody for stopping on by. Oh, Lethal.
You
What's
showed
up,
up
Lethal? You're
just in
coming
time
into.
for the end of the show.
Yeah, speaking of which, I got to get Lethal on here. I've been meaning to do a talk with him too. But
Right.
yeah, so many people. But anyways, thank you everybody for tuning in. If you liked this content, please hit the like button. And if you've been dropping in and out, or if you do drop in and out, and you like what we say and the wacky shenanigans that we have pretty regularly at the midnight hour, then come swing on by and subscribe. But as always, remember, there's only one rule here in the fandom zone. Kneel
Don't drop this
before
out.
General Zod.
I didn't hear either of those rules, and they both sounded ridiculous.
Don't drop the soap.